Hi everyone. I just got done watching Moana 2. And with this film, you're going to be seeing a lot of reviews just trashing it and lighting their hair on fire and saying that this just is another horrible Disney movie and that it does not bode well at all for Disney's future. And, just the rage against what Disney has become. Everything about just how terrible this movie is. And I would agree that Moana 2 is a terrible film by Disney animation high standards. I just saw it and it was awful. And my brother, who likes Disney animation, thought that it was just straight up bad. However, while I agree that it is an awful movie, I'm not angry at it. Like, this morning I recorded my Gladiator 2 review that's going to go up later this week, and that legitimately made me angry. Why? Because it's a movie made by people who should know better, who made a movie that basically went the opposite direction of everything that worked from the first film. When you see people who seem like they don't understand what they're doing, and you don't understand how they could have fumbled something like that, and you don't know how they're going to ever correct themselves or get other people to correct themselves unless you really come down hard critically, that's when I get really mad and frustrated and upset. But Moana 2 is different, and it's different than Wish that happened last year when, once again, like Gladiator, yes, we are comparing Gladiator to Disney movies here, Wish was also a movie where it was made by people who seemed like they just didn't understand what they were doing. For Disney's 100th anniversary, no less, didn't even understand the basics of animation with how bad the animation was in that film. But Moana 2 is not a film that I can get mad at in that way, because I understand what it is, and I understand that Disney knows what it is, and so there's no misunderstanding about what the project that they've released is, and the reasons why they did so, and if this is going to be the status quo or not. So it's hard for me to get mad at it. Now, what is Moana 2? Well, it's a repurposed Disney Plus show that they made into a movie. Literally. We've known that for a long time now. And that is the experience of watching it. I heard someone say that watching this film, you can see where each one of the episodes would begin and end. And yes, that is exactly. In the beginning, you have your pilot, your setup of the overall plot. You have your secondary characters that are all just really one-dimensional and just there to fill out the supporting cast. Like one character, his shtick is he's grumpy. Another character is she's hyperactive. That kind of thing. And it's just all with the typical tropes that I've seen on Disney Plus shows, where it's very, very shallow on plot, very, very shallow on character. It's basically just characters starting from X and getting to Y. In this case, Moana has to find more people. She's trying to get to an island. That's it. Paper thin on character development, theme, story. There's emotional moments that don't feel like good payoffs because they haven't been well built up. For example, you could have done more with Maui showing his affection and his friendship with Moana more, and that when she gets hurt, it becomes a big tragic moment. Like now his emotions are finally coming out after he was more gruff with her. They don't do that. They just have him already kind of come around to being more open in his friendliness towards her, and then we just happen to get a moment where you think she's dead and she's not, and it's just there to be an emotional beat, and it's not actually properly built off or paid off. Neither is Moana's relationship with her sister, who is literally just the sister, and we don't even get to see much of them together. We just know Moana has a little sister. Moana's sister's upset that she's leaving. Moana feels bad about leaving, and then they see each other at the end, and that's the payoff. There's not a lot of depth or uniqueness given to their relationship. We don't get to see them really interact that much. Moana is a bit flanderized. I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for. She is kind of not as good as she was in the first movie as a character. Now, she's already kind of the modern day stereotypical Disney princess who's just really quirky, but they really, really amplified her quirkiness and even added a clumsiness to her in this movie that wasn't there in the original film. And the reason that they did that is this was a Disney Plus show, and that they so much throughout this entire movie and the Disney Plus original show are trying to go for the joke. And I mean the easy jokes, the key jangling jokes with characters are making making silly faces, characters are acting clumsy, characters are making silly noises. This falls into the category of key jangling film, which is what I was talking about before in a video earlier this year when I was talking about the Minecraft movie, and something that I praise Disney for typically not falling into at their best. They usually make movies with more artistic merit and depth that everyone can enjoy than that. Not so in this film. But why am I not angry at this? Like, this is not a good movie. This is kind of like the direct, and I mean, it is like the direct to DVD movies that Toon Disney used to do, and it would just, sometimes it would even be repurposed, rejected TV shows stringed together in a movie, or with 3 separate stories that were just rejected 30-minute episodes. That's what this is, and that's why it's probably only going to be enjoyed by very little kids who already like Moana, because there's not really anything in terms of humor or plot or character that an adult is going to connect with. Like Inside Out 2 had that. This movie does not, which is why I'm curious, is like the massive opening as it's having, is it going to beat out Inside Out 2? We will see. And I think that we need to respect little kids more because, you know, when I was a little kid, the Disney direct-to-DVD stuff didn't appeal to me. I knew that they were different. I knew that they weren't as good as the others, even if I couldn't articulate it at the time. So I'm curious how long this will last before kids grow out of it or they aren't interested in it as much as the other one. But my crowd seemed to love it, and the theater has been packed with people buying tickets for this movie, so it's going to sell very, very well. But why am I not upset with this movie in the way that I was with a movie like Wish or some of the worst films I've seen this year? Well, I know, once again, why it was released, and Disney knows why it was released. And Disney is probably under no pretense. They didn't think that this was going to win an Oscar or even be nominated. They didn't think that this was going to get like rave reviews or anything. Here's what is going on with Disney and why they pivoted to a Disney Plus show for their big November release. Now, you might be asking, with Disney, as IP hungry as they are, why didn't they just greenlight a Moana 2 from Disney Animation to go to theaters in the first place? Why is this a repurposed Disney Plus show? Well, here's the thing. Disney Animation in its current form is in shambles. Absolute shambles under the direction of Jennifer Lee, who stepped down recently. She was told to step down, and Jared Bush took over. And we know that she ran probably one of, if not the worst runs the company has ever had with their animation division. Strange World, Wish, movies that not only did horribly at the box office, but horrible in terms of critic and fan reception. And Jennifer Lee is now gone. Now, that's factual, that Jennifer Lee ran a horrible Disney Animation Studios, but as I told you guys before in earlier videos, I heard rumors that were even worse than what is being told by the main trades. Like, Jennifer Lee got rid of all the classic Disney animators and replaced them with her own new people, which is why movies like Wish had even worse animation, because all that know-how got shoved down the drain and all of that. And I also have been hearing about that under Jennifer Lee, Disney Animation became an exceptionally toxic work environment. So as far as I understand, Disney Animation Studios in Burbank, California is just in complete shambles, and they can't get a project released from there, or it's going to turn out like Wish again. It's going to have awful animation, awful production, and that it's just unworkable right now. That's why Jared Bush is coming in, presumably to help fix up the company, and with Zootopia 2 coming out next year, have that be their next return to form. But Disney desperately needs wins. They need box office successes after they've had so much failure. So what are they going to do? Well, maybe they look over at their stuff done from other divisions. For example, Moana 2. As a Disney Plus show, it's not going to be animated and produced from Disney Animation. Those are two separate divisions. So that is why Disney went to the Moana 2 and tried to repurpose it into a movie, because it is a property that is very, very popular and successful. Frankly, I'm surprised they weren't developing a sequel already with how much money this is making, but it's developed apart from Jennifer Lee's animation division. What they're doing is they're repurposing that, and they're putting it out in the November quarter, the fourth quarter of the year, so that they can make buck off of it. And that's what they're doing, because they need to buy some time to when Jared Bush presumably, hopefully, is going to fix Disney Animation so that they can have some good projects again. I don't think that anyone behind the scenes thinks that this is of the quality that Disney animation is supposed to be. This is just a placeholder, essentially. I think that's the best way to put it. It's a placeholder until they can get some productions that are apart from Jennifer Lee and the people who are working on it, that were making movies like Strange World and Wish, so that they can get hopefully some more successful movies. I think that Disney would want to have those Oscar nominations and the critical reception back, but they are willing to make the sacrifice here because it's either this or nothing, right? It's either Moana 2 comes out and makes a ton of money because it's a very, very well-known, very marketable franchise that they have. Like, little girls love Moana, and so that's what they're going to do. They're going to take the cash, and if the good reception comes later, then so be it. But I think that this is happening more for another reason besides quality as well. Now, one of the things that has really, really been affecting Disney lately is the culture war, and how that has put themselves in the middle of what parents want their kids to watch and what activists want Disney movies to represent and promote. And Bob Iger has been very clear. He wants to quiet the noise of the culture war. He has said that, and we've seen that throughout the year. And it's being amplified a lot lately. I mean, Disney has come into conflict with parents with movies like Turning Red. A lot of parents had a problem with that. Also, Disney pushing gay content in their movies has caused a lot of controversy for them, because as much as one side wants that content, parents and middle America does not. And Disney cannot take a side on that and get everyone's money, which is what they want, everyone's money. So recently, we have just seen a major rollback from Disney on that kind of content. They recently shelved an episode of TV that was supposed to be about a trans character. Inside Out 2, this was a big thing. They were told, the animators revealed and the storytellers revealed, that not only were they not allowed to have any gay content in the movie, but they were not allowed to have anything that could possibly be even perceived as gay content, because the Disney higher-ups saw that as the reason that movies like Lightyear and Strange World bombed, and so they said nothing, zilch, and so that is how they operated with that movie. So that's what I'm getting at here, is Disney is highly rolling back on any sort of content that is going to get them in conflict with parents from middle America and any sort of ideology push, because they are perceiving that as the reason why movies did not do well. And once again, this is where Moana 2 comes in, because what I was also understanding, and she's been very open about this, Jennifer Lee was really wanting to push ideology with her films, and they didn't work. So this is another reason why Disney is pivoting hard to just do, and this is what we're hearing is going to happen throughout all of Hollywood, incredibly safe, non-controversial content. They are, like, gone are the days when Disney would put in a gay character in a movie for like a second and then edit it out for China. They're not even going to do that anymore. They are going to do the safest content possible. And so Disney animation, with Jennifer Lee being more ideologically driven and now changing away from that, like, not just from her, but the people she hired, they're going to something like Moana 2, which was animated overseas and was developed by a completely different team to be as safe as possible. And this is the thing about Moana 2. Terrible film. Animation was fine, much better than Wish. But the thing is, it's so inoffensive. Like, there's nothing in it that is going to get parents angry at Disney, that is going to challenge anyone. It is the most inoffensive. Throw your kids in front of the TV so they can watch something, and that's it. And so that is what I think the real point of this film is that it doesn't matter if it's going to get a lower Rotten Tomatoes score, if it doesn't get Disney an Oscar nomination, or if the Disney adults are angry over its bad quality. The only thing Disney cares about in this case is, one, make a lot of money at the box office. It's already doing that. Don't upset parents from middle America. That is all they care about. Get the money from the middle American parents, and you're going to be good. And that is what this film is doing. It is bringing back Disney's reputation that they used to have of safe and inoffensive. And so that is all the reason why I can't really get mad about this film, because I understand what is happening behind the scenes and why it is getting made. I understand that this is because they are just just they're trying to get a movie out, but they're trying to avoid the shambles that their Disney Animation Studio has become as a company. And they are also going into this new wave of new Hollywood, which is going to be not ideologically driven at all. They are stripping all of that. That is what I've been reading everywhere. They are going to try to do safe, inoffensive films. And so I understand that. And so it's like you go into it, and I wasn't expecting a Disney animated masterpiece. I was expecting repurposed Disney Plus show, and that's what I got. So it's a bad movie. I don't think that unless you're 7 and under, you'll enjoy it. But I at least understand the reason for its existence. But that is all I got for you guys today. What do you think about the changes that Disney is making at its company and its new drive to be apolitical? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you, patrons, as always, for supporting this channel. If you want to support this channel, please consider becoming a Patreon donor yourself. And I will see you guys next time.